In today's video, we're going to be decluttering my kitchen and pantry with me. We're going to start in the pantry because it is driving me crazy. I have gotten really bad about just tossing things in and shutting the door as we've had company and people over. Instead of taking things where they belong, like down in the basement, I just shove it in here. If goes up in a cabinet that's taller and harder to get to, I shove it in here. So just some really bad habits that I need to work on, but we are going to go ahead and get it taken care of today. I started in the pantry by taking everything out of here that did not belong. So every single thing that you saw me just pick up off the floor were things that either needed to go, like I said, to the basement or in a cabinet somewhere in my kitchen, or some of the stuff wasn't even mine. So some of it goes back to my mom or wherever it needs to go. So I just took everything out and put it in sections on my island, and you'll see that here in a little bit. And then I go back to my island once I have everything cleaned out of the pantry. I'll go back to the island and then disperse the things where they need to go. But for me, I just have to kind of clear out a space before I can really start organizing and decluttering. If you've been around for a little bit, you know that we moved into this house in July. It is a new build and we custom built this house. But the pantry and the laundry room are two places that my husband is going to finish himself. We just haven't gotten there yet, as well as the basement. We do want to finish it eventually as well. So it's just one of those things. We are just making this work for now until we get that project done. Part of the problem with that is I haven't 100% decided how I want to do it. It's kind of a puzzle because one wall isn't quite as deep. One side of the pantry isn't as deep as the other side, so it's one of those things I just kind of have to think through how I want it to lay out. And as we live here for a little bit before we finish it, I think I will figure that out a little bit more, because there's already been things that, like when we first moved in, I thought I had it figured out, and I've already changed kind of what I'm thinking on that. So it's been kind of interesting to see the process of that, but for now we are just going to make do with what we have. I just threw this little cube organizer up to kind of keep things separated. So I'm going through and organizing it by types of food, and I played around with it a little bit. You'll see that here I move things around a few times, and that's pretty normal for me when I'm organizing. I don't always get it right the first time, and that's okay. So if you notice yourself struggling with that, don't get discouraged. Just keep trying until you get it right. It will not always happen right off the bat. So just make your spaces work for you regardless of the situation. If you see to my left, I had pulled out all of the sodas and Gatorades out of this cubicle. I am going to be moving all of that out into the garage because actually the evening, so the day that I'm filming this, that evening my husband went and got us a refrigerator and deep freeze for out in the garage. This is something we always had at the old house, and I have missed it way more than I ever thought I would, being here at the new house without it. So we just got a cow butchered. So if you don't know, my husband raises cows, and we did get a cow butchered recently. So we have a half of a cow that we needed freezer space for, and then we sold the other half of the cow, and we had no room for the meat. So my husband went and got a deep freeze that we, like I said, have really needed anyway, and plan to always get another one. We just haven't gotten it yet. So kind of got us motivated to go ahead and get that. So while he was getting the deep freeze, he went ahead and picked up a refrigerator also. So we've got one outside that we will keep extra stuff and all the drinks and stuff. That way when the kids come over to play or anyone is over, they know right where to go and they can grab whatever they want from the drink fridge. So I'm really excited to have all of that moved out and not cluttering up the pantry. So as you can see, there was a lot of extra stuff in the pantry that did not belong. So all of this stuff you're seeing has a home somewhere else, like I said, and it feels really good to have it all out of the pantry. All that floor space is back, and I am going to try my best to keep it this way. No promises. You may be seeing another pantry clean out sooner than I hope, but I hope not. So anyway, those first few snacky items that I took off the cabinet they go in the little cabinet pantry that I have. So I have that little pull out pantry. You'll see in a little bit. It just has the drawers. It has all the snacks, easy access for the kids. And then the rest of the stuff I'm taking downstairs. And then this tote is actually stuff of my mom's that I'm going to give to her. And then that stuff goes in a drawer over on that side of the kitchen, so I just shoved it over there for now. And then I decided to go ahead and use one of these empty canisters for all the chocolate chips to kind of get all of those in a container rather than having the open bag and the extra bags laying around. So I'm excited to have that, and I'll put that in my baking cabinet as well, which will be great. So we're gonna go ahead and work on that cabinet that I was talking about, the little pantry cabinet, and get it organized. We are really bad about just like shoving stuff in here in a hurry. For the most part, it stays organized, but not always. So you'll see here and there where there's a few things out of place, but for the most part, everything stays in its spot. So I can't complain too much, but it definitely needed a little tidying up. I have to laugh a little bit. I had to play a little bit of Tetris with the crackers. There was just one package of crackers left out to the side. It was one of those things, I'm sure that they thought the container was full and just laid the others beside it. But if you really try hard, you can fit them all in there. But anyway, I got them all in. And so anyway, that top drawer is mostly like our breakfast drawer, and then like I said, those crackers. And then the drawer that I'm working on now is our chips. So I've got all the chips there. And then that drawer right there is our breads and tortillas and stuff like that. So just kind of tidying up. These all stay pretty much as they are. It's just the chips kind of sometimes get out of hand because there's so many of them. And then I ended up putting the ramen noodles to the side. It was like a perfect little spot. They fit perfectly in there, and that just made my heart so happy. It's little things like that just, I love it. I love it when things work out the way they do like that, where it just fits perfectly and it looked like it was made for it. So gonna go ahead and stock up the Pringles to get rid of this box, and then the kids will have easy access for a snack or to add to their lunches for the week. One thing that I did, and you may have noticed, is I did take out any of the chips that I knew that my kids don't eat. So if you get those variety packs of chips and there's certain ones that your kids don't eat, it's okay to declutter those. And it's one of those things. I took out all the Cheetos because my kids will not eat Cheetos, and then Goldfish. For whatever reason, my kids hardly ever eat the Goldfish. So I did take all those out and I bagged them up. I was going to offer them to my mom. She runs a daycare, see if she would like the Goldfish. And then if not, I'll just put them in our backpack program for kids that are in need, and we send them food in their backpacks with them on long weekends. So that's something they can definitely use there. So make sure that if there's something your family doesn't eat, try to give it to someone who will and who could use it. So just a little tip there. This bottom drawer is more of our snacks and cookies and candies, popcorn, stuff like that. Just easy access for the kids, and it feels so good to have it all cleaned out and organized. Now we're going to move up to this cabinet. I love having this cabinet for extra storage. However, I don't always put things back in it because it is too tall. So I have to go get my step ladder, and once again, I was being lazy. Instead of getting my step ladder, I just shoved, like I had some cake decorating stuff from when we were decorating those cookies for Christmas, and I just put them in our baking cabinet rather than putting them back in the tub that they belong in. So we are fixing those problems now and putting all this stuff away that I just shoved in my pantry floor. It's so funny that instead of just taking an extra step to go get the step ladder and put it up, I just tossed it in my pantry floor. I guess that's just part of life. Is anybody else like that, or is it just me? I'm going to go ahead and decant all of these things. So I had that bag of seasoned flour that I just hadn't put in the container, and that panini or penne pasta, however you say that, and the cocoa. All of this just needed to put in the containers, and then I could get rid of all of those extra boxes in the cocoa containers. So that felt good to get rid of that and then have them all organized and looking nice. As I am going through everything, I am noticing things that I am either low on or completely out of, and going ahead and adding those things to my grocery list so that I can make sure and get it the next time I go. So this is really kind of been nice to kind of get fresh eyes on everything and see kind of where we're at. Especially going into the winter. It's supposed to be really freezing. Actually, the day that I am doing this voiceover, it is like it was like 1 degree, 3 degrees here during the day. I can't imagine what it is now at nighttime, but anyway, it is freezing here, and it's always one of those things you always want to have extra just in case you do get frozen or snowed in or whatever might happen. I always like to be prepared, so I am definitely had put in a bulk order for some extra stuff just to have on hand for these cold months ahead. These reusable containers that you'll see me pulling out of this drawer are my friends that I had used when I fed the farmers. If you saw that video, that was like my second video I think I posted. Anyway, my husband had helped one of our friends farm a little bit this harvest, and I took some food to them once, and this was just the leftover stuff. So I'm taking that back to her, and then we're just going to tidy up the rest of these drawers. The rest of this stuff isn't too bad. Most of it is already kind of has its own system. This drawer just had a couple ladles that were my sister-in-law's that I needed to take back to her. So for the most part, everything is right where it belongs and is pretty organized, other than, like I said, the things that aren't mine, or if someone else had put them away. We did have a lot of friends and family over the holidays, so if someone helped me put things away, sometimes it didn't get back exactly where it belongs, but can't complain. This drawer, it amazes me when an organizational system works. You know it's working when a household of 5 can use it every single day and it stays organized. So it's kind of a testament to how good some organization systems are. And you know when you found the right one, when everything is staying in place. This is kind of an example of that as well. These dishes always go back where they belong. Never fails. This bottom drawer I did have to tweak a little bit, but didn't catch it on camera. So if you've joined me today, I appreciate it. This is part 1 of my kitchen declutter and organize, so stay tuned for the next one. Will be part 2, and we will finish up the rest of the kitchen.